Welcome back to this month's Holiday Party Conversation Spectacular series. Thanks so much again for all of your smart insights and follow-up questions about part 1 and part 2. If you haven't gotten a chance to watch part 1 or part 2 yet, make sure you just scroll up and click the links above to check them out. Today, we are gliding right past those conversation starters, past those specific conversations I covered last week, and we're diving into the meat of those holiday party and networking conversations. How to keep them cruising, how to stay present, how to signal confidence, and of course, how to end them on a high, memorable note. I like to think of these as conversation traffic signals. Just like on the road, we'll talk about them as if green means go, yellow means slow, and red means stop. So green signals are all about giving others the impression that you're interested in talking to them without coming across as overeager. Yellow signals are all about closing out that conversation in an intentional way. And red signals are all about leaving a meaningful impression without forcing it. So when it comes to green signals, it's really important that you check in with your body language. You want to make sure that your posture is nice and tall, but relaxed. I always recommend doing a quick body scan in your own mind's eye to try to let go of any tension that you might be holding on to. This will help you feel more present and relaxed on the inside, and of course, it'll signal that you're more present and relaxed on the outside. You don't want to push on that conversational gas by leaning forward, gripping those shoulders, letting those hands fly in front of your face or in front of your chest. Instead, you want to release that tension and keep that energy grounding downward toward the earth so that you signal that you are, in fact, down to earth. It's important also with these green signals that you focus on holding steady eye contact. At holiday parties and networking events, it's super tempting to scan the room to see if there are any familiar faces or if that other person you want to talk to has arrived yet. You want to make sure that if this is the kind of relationship you care to strengthen or keep going, that you commit to holding that steady eye contact for as much of the conversation as possible. Something I learned from my mentor, Kara, that I continue to see as so true in my own life and in my work, is that it's not inherently awkward to hold eye contact for long periods of time. What's awkward is when you become aware of the fact that you're holding eye contact, and then it's like you can no longer hold eye contact anymore. So there's nothing wrong with taking a break by looking down at the floor or up on the ceiling, but keep trying to come back. It's like when you're taking a yoga class and the yoga teacher tells you to focus on your breath. At first, it's like you can't even breathe because you're so aware of breathing. But then you focus on the postures and the positions and you're no longer thinking of it as much. Same thing with eye contact. Once you've taken a break, once you've had that moment of self-consciousness, really focus on the person you're speaking to, what they're saying, the energy that they have going on, so that you're less aware of your eyeballs making contact with their eyeballs. Make sense? So again, if you want to send those interested but non-pushy green signals, make sure to release that tension in your body. Keep your eyes focused and steady with the person that you're speaking to. And also make sure that your belly button and toes are pointing directly toward the person you're speaking to, so that they get the sense that you're not distracted or distractible, wishing that you were somewhere else. Now, those yellow signals are for when you want to close out the conversation in an intentional way, either because you sense it's ending organically or that person has to move on to other people. So if this is a conversation you want to keep having, this is the perfect time to enlist that other person in making that happen. You might say, I'd love to learn more about X, Y, and Z, or I'd love to keep talking to you about A, B, and C, or I feel like I'm going to go home and have a few questions for you about this. Can we set up a time to continue the conversation on a call or maybe grab some coffee? Now, I'm not saying you need to or should do this at the end of every conversation. That'd be weird. You only want to use this if you really do want to follow up with this person and you want to plant that seed in a chill and organic way. The key is really to mention the specific subject you want to keep discussing. The subject or idea that's specific to this person and this conversation you're having, not some broad subject you could keep talking about with anyone. This way, you're asking for a follow-up that makes sense because you've just pointed out that you two have a conversation to be continued. Also, notice that I used the phrasing, "Can we set up a call or a coffee date?" instead of, "Can I maybe reach out to you?" By using that "we" in your request, you're putting the two of you on an equal playing field and enlisting them to be a part of that plan-making process. Instead of coming across like you're asking permission or maybe even apologizing in advance for taking up their time, you're showing that you want to continue this specific conversation and that there's something in it for them too. Finally, to end the conversation, let's talk about those red signals. So the best kind of red signals are the ones that leave the conversation on a high, memorable note. And the goal with this is to replace the urge to leave an impression on them with a sincere word or two about the impression this conversation has made on you. You might say, "I really enjoyed talking to you about this," or "I'm grateful I got the chance to talk to you about this," or "It's been a real pleasure talking to you about this. I'm really looking forward to continuing this conversation." You're essentially validating your experience of them, which has a bunch of benefits. First, it gives your brain just something to do instead of worrying about how you're going to come across at the end. It also leaves them feeling seen and valued, which is how we all want to feel at the end of a conversation, right? Well, I'm curious, what do you think? Which of these conversation traffic signals, the green ones, the yellow ones, or the red ones, resonate the most with you? Leave a comment below and let me know. And if you haven't already, make sure that you are signed up for my eTribe or my email list, because once you type in your name and email address below, I'm going to send you a free training, some exclusive tips I don't share anywhere else, and also some early bird info coming up about our group coaching program that you don't want to miss. In the meantime, keep showing up as that you most want to be. Just one interaction, one intention at a time. Thank you so much for watching, and I won't see you next week on the Self-Spoken blog. But if you'd like to hear from me, again, make sure you're signed up for that eTribe because I'm sending out my monthly eTribe only dispatch. Happy New Year. I'm wishing you an extremely meaningful, rewarding, and fulfilling new year. Thanks, and I'll talk to you soon.